Hi, my name is Brad, and this is our presentation comparing two films, one from the 1960s and one from the modern era. The two films we've chosen are This Is England and Kes, and we're going to be comparing the social issues that have changed over the years and the similarities between the two films.
Hi, my name's Hazel, and I'm going to be comparing Kes and This Is England. First, I'm going to start out with a summary of This Is England. This Is England. It was filmed in 2006. It was written and directed by Shane Meadows. The film is centred around young skinheads from England in 1983. The film illustrates how the subculture, which has its roots in the 1960s West Indian culture, especially ska, soul and reggae music, became adopted by white nationalists, which led to the divisions within the skinhead scene. The film's title is a direct reference to a scene where the character Combo explains his nationalist views using the phrase "This is England" during the speech.
Kes, set in the north of England during the 1960s, is about a young boy who gets bullied at school, and he has an abusive older sibling, and his father is estranged, and he finds companionship in his pet bird, which comes from the title of the film, Kes. And eventually, him getting into trouble with his older sibling, it ends up with the bird being killed, and the film finishing. It was directed by Ken Loach in 1969. And here are some similarities between those two films.
In This Is England and in Kes, you find that both of the children are very lonely. Their parents have left or passed away. They've got a pretty bad home life, one's just with his mum and the other one gets quite a lot of abuse from his brother. But both find a friendship out of unusual circumstances. Like in This Is England, the boy finds friendship within an older bunch of friends, and in Kes, obviously, they find friendship in a kestrel. The bird dies and the gang dissolves. You can tell that this is the first time they've both been happy in a long time, though, towards the end of the film.
Their social changes are clearly evident just by looking at the trailers of the films themselves. In the trailer for Kes, which you'll see at the end, it's just rather long shots. It shows like just normal and average life in the north of England, whereas in This Is England, it shows that films made today are sold more on the violence and the dramatic content of it.
Showing racism.
Like in the This Is England trailer.
Expressing how black people felt.
Yeah. You can see that it's a rather different time, even watching the two films together. Even though it's set in 1983, it was still filmed in 2006. So you see a
dramatic change with how aggression is shown. Like in Kes, it shows that there's discipline within the school, but in This Is England, there's not just discipline within a school, it's also outside of school. They're trying to say that white people should be able to discipline black people. Give me a second, my hands again. Oh, right. And there's also a scene with some Muslims they encounter, and they come over and I don't know how to describe it. Force them to leave, telling them that it's their territory, acting like animals, being quite brutish in a way, to be honest, and they threaten him with a knife and
another change you can see from that is really evident from the 1960s to the 1980s is more about consumer culture and pop culture and things like that. You don't see like any sort of brand names or the main character from Kes wanting
style of filming as well.
Yeah,
the way they filmed it. It came out in 2006, but they made it look like it was from the age.
The
color correcting was done really well, and the way they designed the costumes, everything like that.
Like you can see the character Sean he wants a pair of Dr. Martens boots, and he listens to the music, like the pop music of the age. Whereas in Kes, it's rather classical in a way. Like there's a butcher.
You can even tell from the.
To summarise, really, that you can see from watching both the films that that on the surface they don't really seem very similar.
Yeah, but if you look at it a little bit harder and try to analyse it just a little bit, you might see that there are similarities in the way that they're lonely children that are trying to make a friend, really.
And you can see a clear-cut difference because they're set around a similar place. I think in This Is England, it's not specified where they are.
No,
they are just
North
somewhere in the
Midlands.
north of England, yeah. So you can see like the massive change and the more anger expressed.
Yeah, how things have changed, how different people have come into power and life is different. You can.
There's different social aspects to it. Like you can see black people in it.
And there's a different age as well, where like it's something new has come along. Like you've got all these different groups of people, and skinheads just happen to be what happened in 1983.
And you can see the start of consumerism in modern culture in the 1980s.
Yeah.
So, any questions?
Can I go now? This is awkward.
Right.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.